Electric Cable TV as Wyoming Seminary plays host to the Black Knights of Lake-Lehman. Paul Garrity here with you from the Carpenter Gymnasium. Lake-Lehman in the black jerseys with yellow trim, Wyoming Seminary in the home whites. As we take a look at starting lineups for tonight's game. First for Lake-Lehman, Delcia Biscotto starts in the backcourt with second leading scorer Brenna Hunt. And up front for head coach Charlie Levan and the Knights, it's their top scorer, Ella Wilson, with Molly Jenkins and the sophomore Olivia Oliver. Lake-Lehman 11-8 coming into the contest. Victorious over Seminary in the first meeting of convincing 55-33 win back in early January. This is Ella Stambaugh, the outstanding freshman for Seminary and the team's top scorer. Misses her first shot. Stambaugh joined in the starting five by number 21, Lexi Lichtenstein, number 23, Claire Griffin, number 31, Ellie Para, and the starting center is number 45, Haley Smeraldi. Para misfires on the mid-range jumper. First possession for Lake-Lehman. Number 12 and number 14 are the two to watch out for the Black Knights. They score the bulk of the points offensively, and a steal by Lichtenstein. Chased by Oliver, and Lexi finishes. Lexi Lichtenstein does a little bit of everything for this Seminary team, comes up with the defensive play there, and another. Chased by Biscotto, and Lexi Lichtenstein turns a couple of steals into layups. And an early timeout spent by Lake-Lehman. They trail Seminary 4-0, 6:33 to play in the first. Early start here tonight. We'll be back on the air for our regular broadcast time tomorrow night. 7:15 tip-off. What should be a really good boys game between Wilkes-Barre area and Hazleton. Maybe the two best teams in the entire Wyoming Valley Conference. Hope you could join us for that if you can't make it out to the gym. 4-0, Black Knights trail Seminary here in the early going. As they go down low, Molly Jenkins has her shot blocked on the interior. Two-three zone for Seminary to start, or for Lake-Lehman to start the game. Black Knights have yet to get a shot up at the rim more than 2 minutes into the game. Lichtenstein, little turnaround jumper in the lane, doesn't go. Wilson climbs the ladder for the board. Ella Wilson, the 6-foot junior, one of the top scorers in the entire conference. Here's a three ball from Biscotto. Splashes it home, and Lake-Lehman on the board. They trail 4-3. Lake-Lehman, not a team that makes an awful lot of three-point shots throughout the season, but Biscotto gives them a little bit of outside shooting ability. Lehman generally likes to play a slow, half-court type of tempo, but in their last game, a win over Nanticoke, they came out and really pushed the pace. Brenna Hunt gets the steal, and the Black Knights will keep it. Lake-Lehman 11-8 overall. Their last loss was a game against Dunmore about a week ago, which they took the Lady Bucks to overtime up at Dunmore, as Ella Wilson rattles home a jumper. And the Black Knights have their first lead. It's 5-4. Mentioned that Lake-Lehman Nanticoke game. Lake-Lehman came out and really got out in transition, and I think surprised Nanticoke area in that game. 63-51 win for the Black Knights in that contest. Lichtenstein gets free underneath and scores. Lexi's got all 6 Blue Knight points, and they lead 6-5. Down low, Jenkins carving out space. Offensive rebound to Oliver. And that's a travel whistled against Oliver, the sophomore. From the looks of things, this might be a kind of a slow half-court type of game, and that's a double dribble called against Stambaugh. Seminary very comfortable playing that half-court type of game as well. Black Knights held Seminary to 33 points the last time these two teams got together. Wilson gets free, left wing triple try, knocked down. Ella Wilson can really stretch the floor. That's her 26th made three-point shot of the year, and the Black Knights lead 8-6. Ill-advised pass there into the teeth of the defense. Wyoming Seminary 13-5 coming into the game. But despite having a considerably better record than the Black Knights, as that layup up and in from Hunt. And a timeout called by Wyoming Seminary. Lake-Lehman on a 10-2 run. They lead it 10-6. Mentioned the game tomorrow night here on Service Electric Cable. We'll be back Saturday as well for a 1 p.m. start, what should be a really good one. Holy Redeemer girls take on Marian Catholic, a team that's traditionally very good. Again, a 1 o'clock start for that game Saturday afternoon. Seminary looking for their 4th straight win. Stambaugh rifles one down for Smeraldi. Loose change to Lichtenstein in the backcourt. And that's last touched by Brenna Hunt. .123 to play in a fast-moving first quarter. has yet to be a foul called in this game. Griffin from 15. 10-8 Lake-Lehman. Wilson, the turnaround. Jenkins muscles away the rebound. Here's Wilson. Right into contact. Good defense there by the Knights. Well, I should probably clarify it. The Blue Knights. Smeraldi off a beautiful feed from Griffin. Claire Griffin. Playmaker in the open floor, and we're tied at 10. Wilson, quick release. Lichtenstein, the strong side board. 20 seconds to play. Opening stanza. They'll play for one. 6 seconds for Stambaugh. Gets a Smeraldi screen. Lichtenstein to beat the buzzer. Back and forth first quarter. Lake-Lehman went on a 10-2 run, but that was sandwiched around some good play from Seminary. And after one, we're deadlocked at 10 apiece here on Service Electric TV. Wyoming Seminary looking for their 4th straight win here tonight, coming in 13-5 overall. Despite that really good record, they're the number 6 seed right now in the Class 3A power rankings. These two teams could match up in the quarterfinal round of the district tournament if things break the right way. Right now, Lake-Lehman is the number 4 seed. But the middle of the pack, really all of 3A is pretty wide open. Biscotto, high arcer. And Stambaugh volleys it over to herself. Now Ella, runaway freight train, finds Para. Maybe a little too unselfish. Probably should have shot that ball. Instead, Hunt comes away with the rebound. Couple of teams both playing zone. You don't see that very much nowadays as Ellie Kersey just into the game, comes up with the loose ball. Freshman guard, son of the seminary coach CJ Kersey. And a steal by Hunt. Great anticipation. But Stambaugh there to collect the carom. It'll go back to the Blue Knights. It's a couple times now Brenna Hunt has gotten the passing lane. Top of that zone. 6:45 to play, second quarter. Still tied at 10. Two-man game, another steal. This time it's Wilson. Pull-up triple try. Back rim miss. Back-to-back turnovers for Sem now. We'll have to see if they try to maybe take advantage of some of the overplays. Stambaugh accelerates baseline, and that's last touch by Para. Not a lot of room to operate really on either side of the floor right now. Wyoming, neither team is really a great outside shooting team, so the zone for each side giving them a little bit of trouble. Catherine Morgan, the 5'10 sophomore, is into the game for Lake-Lehman, number 24, with the ball. Hunt off the feed from Wilson. Drains the triple. That's the third three-point shot for the Black Knights, and they lead 13-10. Kersey, she can make that, but not that time. Long rebound to Biscotto. Fairly young rotation for Lake-Lehman. Of the 6 players that have played so far, just 1 senior. Or check that, 2 seniors. And Stambaugh rips down the board. 5 minutes to play, first half. Stambaugh doing work down low. I believe that's just the second shot she's taken in the game. Wyoming Seminary's leading scorer in her freshman season. 13-12, Lake-Lehman. They have Wilson stationed at the free throw line, trying to get in the middle of that D. Good defense there by Stambaugh to stay in front, but the second effort by Wilson. Ella Wilson's got a game-high 7 points, and the Black Knights lead by 3. We still have not had a foul called, and we're a quarter and a half into the game. Deflection by Hunt, and a steal by Wilson. Long arms of Stambaugh bothered that shot. Now Sem on the move. And Griffin called for steps. .326 to play in the first half. Blink if you missed it, the way this game has gone so far. Wilson lets it fly. Nice save by Hunt. It's going to result in an extra possession, and we finally have, with 2:56 to play in the half, the first foul of the game. It's called against Stambaugh. Sends Brenna Hunt to the line, about a 70% free throw shooter on the season. Splits a pair, 4-point lead for the Black Knights. And a travel called as Avery Luxick dragged the pivot foot a bit. So it's Lichtenstein and Stambaugh out there, along with Luxick, Para, and Smeraldi for C.J. Kersey. Wilson from 12 feet. Grabs her own miss. Jenkins draws the contact, down low. Speraldi picks up her first. Molly Jenkins just over 60% for the season from the stripe. Luxick to the seminary bench. Claire Griffin back on the floor. And a lane violation, I believe, against Sem. So it'll give Jenkins another crack at it. Griffin snares the board. 16-12 Lehman. 1:48 to play, first half. Seminary just has not had a lot of luck getting good shots in this first half against this Lake-Lehman zone. Their best offense has been getting out in transition off Black Knight turnovers. Here's Stambaugh, the pull-up J. Silky smooth from Ella Stambaugh. 2-point game. 1:25 to play in the half. Much different story than the first time these two teams matched up, when Lake-Lehman was victorious by 22. Timeout called by the Black Knights. 1:18 to play, second quarter. It's Lake-Lehman 16 and Seminary 14. Paul Garrity back with you here tonight. Holy Redeemer has already clinched this Division II title with an undefeated to this point record. These two teams battling for seeding in the district tournament. Stambaugh, not that time. Griffin the putback attempt and the first foul of the game against the Black Knights. Called against Ella Wilson. It sends Claire Griffin to the free throw line. (16-15), Lehman in front. Wilson pulls the trigger and knocks it down. I think they've got to shade that defense over to her side a little bit. That was way too easy. (19-15), Lehman. Deflection and a steal by Biscotto, and a blocking foul called against Stambaugh. That's her second. The length and quickness of these Black Knight guards have gotten a lot of deflections in this first half. 20 seconds to play in the half. Seminary does have fouls to give. Wilson, catch and shoot, yes. A couple of late three-point shots from Ella Wilson has elevated Lake-Lehman to their largest lead of the night, 22-15, as we head to halftime. You're watching high school basketball here on Service Electric TV. Back here, we got a good one on Thursday night between Wyoming Seminary and Lake-Lehman. Paul Garrity here with you. A late run by the Black Knights, a couple three-point shots by Ella Wilson in the final minute, has Lake-Lehman up by 7. It's 22-15. Biggest lead of the night for Lehman. Game that had exactly 0 fouls called for the first 12 minutes of the contest. Wilson led the way for Lake-Lehman in the first half with 13 points. Brenna Hunt had 6. So according to my math, all but 3 points were scored by the top 2 scorers for the Knights, Brenna Hunt and Ella Wilson. Seminary got 6 from Lexi Lichtenstein. Not a whole lot other than that. Just 15 points in the first 2 quarters against this 2-3 zone employed by Charlie Levan and the Black Knights. Seminary forces the turnover there. Failed to mention the three-person officiating crew for tonight's game. Tony D. Moranville, Eric Lawson, and Jennifer Everett. Stambaugh had it fall loose. Wilson with Lichtenstein giving chase. Lexi gets the block, but it'll stay with Lehman. Pescado knocked an early one down. Hasn't shot the ball much since. Came up short there. Hunt again gets in the passing lane. Smeraldi couldn't finish. Good hustle there by Para to keep it. Stambaugh lines up a deep 3. Ella Stambaugh might have to do a little more of that tonight. That's their first 3-point shot made of the game. And the Lake-Lehman lead down to 4. Wilson cut off by Griffin. That was a big shot by Stambaugh. You got the feeling if Lake-Lehman scored first in this half, it was going to be tough to come back. Here's Hunt with the pull-up. Brenna Hunt has 8. (24-18) Lehman. 5:15 to play on a running third quarter clock. Lichtenstein pulls the trigger from 16. And a foul on the rebound called against Smeraldi. Seminary winners of their last three straight, including a 30-point victory over MMI in their last outing. Lake-Lehman's won 2 of 3, the only loss coming in overtime to Dunmore. Jenkins goes glass. Jenkins just the fourth player to score tonight for the Black Knights. And they extend to an 8-point cushion. Down low. Stolen away by Wilson. Just doesn't seem to be a great matchup for Seminary. They do not like this Lake-Lehman zone. Piscato barreling in against Griffin and draws the foul. Called a non-shooting foul. Jenkins to the bench. Catherine Morgan back on the floor. Under 4 to play in the third. And Oliver will go to the free throw line. Smeraldi to the Seminary bench. That was her third foul. Ellie Kersey back in the game for CJ Kersey. Double figure lead now for Lake-Lehman at 28-18. And Seminary just not comfortable against this Lehman zone, and Piscato elevating and hitting. Black Knights have 2 points from 4 different players so far in this quarter, and a much needed timeout called by CJ Kersey. 3:25 to play in the third. Seminary trails 30-18. Well, again, a reminder, we'll have 2 more games on the air this week. Over in Wilkes-Barre tomorrow night, 7:15 tip-off as the Wolfpack boys take on the Hazleton area Cougars. And Saturday afternoon, a 1 p.m. start as Holy Redeemer takes on Marion Catholic in girls basketball. 4 games on the air next week here on Service Electric TV, including a game back here in Kingston on Tuesday night as the Seminary boys take on Holy Redeemer. Our other 3 games next week will all be up in Mountaintop to see Crestwood, both the boys and the girls. 30-18, Lake-Lehman. Stambaugh pulls the trigger. And the offensive rebound to Para. Oh. Para tried to shoot it before she had it. It was a great look by Lichtenstein. Just been that kind of night for Seminary, at least on the offensive end. And a travel against Oliver. They're just not letting Stambaugh have many looks, forcing some of the other players to make some shots, and Lichtenstein says thank you very much. 9 points tonight for Lexi to lead the way. Lead back to 9. Tell you what, every time I see Lake-Lehman play the last few years, and I don't see them that often, as Hunt gets free underneath off a nice pass from Oliver. I feel like Charlie Levan, I should say, is a really underrated coach. Always seems to have a good defensive game plan, and he's put together one tonight. Black Knights always a team that seems to get better as the season goes along, and that's usually an indication of pretty good coaching job being done. .122 to play in the third. Game was tied at 10 after 1. It was a 1-point game with a minute left in the first half. Wilson comes up short. Sem might want to push the pace a little bit and get into their offense a little bit earlier before Lake-Lehman has a chance to really set up this zone. Because once they get that set up, it has not been easy sledding. And a steal by Morgan. .34 seconds to play in the third. 32-21. Black Knights. And Wilson gets grabbed and fouled. That's not a bad foul. Had a foul to give. Avery Luxick checks back in along with Haley Smeraldi. 20 seconds or 27 seconds in the period. Into Wilson, too easy. First points of the second half for Ella Wilson, 15 in the game. Clock issue, so they get that straightened out. 13-point game. 15 seconds for Stambaugh. Gets around Hunt. Kersey spotting up. Rebound volleyed around. Hunt's not going to get it off. Another good quarter for Lake-Lehman. 7-point halftime lead expands to 13. They lead after 3, 34-21. This is high school basketball on Service Electric TV. Paul Garrity back with you here at the Carpenter Gym. We were tied at 10 after one period. Lake-Lehman has just kind of slowly, methodically extended this lead ever since. 15 points from Ella Wilson tonight. 10 from Brenna Hunt. And a 34-21 Lake-Lehman lead. Start of the fourth. Lehman looking to improve to 12-8 on the year. Potentially improve their number 4 seed as they currently sit in the Class 3A district standings. We'll see if Seminary, well, they switch into the man-to-man. Kind of a must at this point, trailing by double figures, and a travel called against Wilson. Wouldn't be surprised to see Seminary maybe try some full court pressure here to speed up the game a bit. And a steal by Hunt. She's been really active defensively in this game to go along with 10 points. Hunt rifles one down low. Wilson, a nice catch first and able to finish at the rim. Nice hands there by Ella Wilson. There was some steam on that pass. The lead up to 15. A steal by Wilson. And a frustration foul by Lichtenstein. That's her second as Stambaugh comes back on the floor. Wyoming Seminary, one of the youngest teams in terms of rotation players in the entire conference. Expected to potentially be just as good, if not better, next year. And a shot goes down for Wilson plus the foul. Just too much Ella Wilson tonight. A 6-foot junior. Wilson, usually an outstanding free throw shooter, leads the Wyoming Valley Conference in free throw attempts. 38-21 Lake-Lehman. Frustrating night continues for CJ Kersey's team. Wilson gets free down low and finishes again. 21 in the game for Ella Wilson. Lake-Lehman just has completely taken the air out of this Seminary team. Stambaugh with a hand in her face. .5:20 to play. Wilson trying to really put the nail in the coffin. Charlie Levan doesn't look all that happy with that shot selection. And a foul called against Wilson. Lichtenstein returns, replacing Luxick. And a timeout called by Lake-Lehman with 4:59 to play. Black Knights on their way to their 12th win of the season. Again, we'll be back on the air tomorrow night at 7:15 as the Hazleton boys travel north to take on Wilkes-Barre area in a really important Division I game. Wilkes-Barre area, I believe, can clinch the division with a win in that game. They can certainly clinch at least a tie. And then Saturday afternoon, Holy Redeemer, who's already clinched the division in Wyoming Valley Conference Division II girls, at 1 o'clock Saturday takes on Marion Catholic. You can see both of those games right here in high definition on Channel 509. (40-21) Lake-Lehman leads as we wind it down here. 4:48 to play in the ball game. Black Knight defense has been the story. They've held Sem to just 11 points in the last 19 plus minutes. Stambaugh spinning. Difficult shot. Nothing has come easy tonight for the white shirts. Wilson off the feed from Hunt. And right now, Lake-Lehman just a step quicker on both ends of the floor. Seminary came out tonight with a lot of energy as Stambaugh drills a jumper. A lot of that energy has been taken away by this suffocating Black Knight defense. Timeout called by Sem. 4:02 to play. It's a 42-23 game. Some pressure from Sem as expected. Trailing by 19, but the Black Knights turn it into a layup opportunity. Jenkins the finish. It's 44-23. Lichtenstein penetrates. Another difficult shot. Lexi knocks it down. First player for Sem tonight into double figures. She's got 11. 44-25 is the Lehman lead. And that's last touch by Lichtenstein. Paid me a visit in the broadcast booth. .308 to play. And that's a travel against Oliver. .25 points tonight for Seminary, not what they've done for most of the year. This is actually not a season low for them. They were held to 24 in a loss against Holy Redeemer. Stambaugh rotates. Here's Kersey left alone. One of the better shots they've gotten in this second half, but it doesn't go down. And the arrow points to the Blue Knights. 44-25, 2:36 to play. Lichtenstein fumbles, regathers. Stambaugh, quick release. Brought some rain, didn't bring any net. Good hustle underneath. Lichtenstein can't get it. 2:10 to play. Seminary with the loss will drop to 13-6 overall. And they'll have some work to do against teams that play a good 2-3 zone like this. I think C.J. Kersey might be hoping they don't see this team again. That just doesn't seem to be a good matchup for his team. A foul called. Yeah, Wilson, or check that, Hunt. 1:46 to play. I don't think Lehman's played a lick of man-to-man in this game. They haven't had to. Down low, Smeraldi gets free. And Lichtenstein, who's one of the better passers in the league, finds her on the bounce. I'm not sure why they let a substitute in the game there. Scoreboard operator a little quick on the trigger with the horn there. But nobody seems to mind too much. 44-25. Oliver on the step through doesn't get it. And Lichtenstein draws the foul. Stambaugh's going to jack one up. Again, nothing easy for the freshman tonight. Wind things down, under a minute to play. Lake-Lehman, an impressive win tonight against a good Seminary team. Seminary didn't look like a great team for much of tonight, but that was a great credit to what Lake-Lehman did defensively. Under 30 to play. And a travel against Wilson. And Smeraldi dragged the pivot foot. That'll do it. Final tonight from Carpenter Gymnasium. It's Lake-Lehman 44 and Wyoming Seminary 27. Our next broadcast will be tomorrow night at 7:15 from Wilkes-Barre area as the Wolfpack boys take on Hazleton. For Scott Cannon, our cameraman, I'm Paul Garrity. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We'll talk to you tomorrow here on Service Electric TV.